This is day 804 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor a sure or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. Very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Tuf Kuf Gimel Aleph to Siman Tuf Kuf Dalet Aleph. That seems like a lot. Okay. Tuf Kuf Gimel. Sh'as lechim yontiv rishon yontiv sheni. Now to prepare for the first day yontiv, the second day yontiv. Aleph. Davar yadua. It's well known. Sh'as lechichas letzman lechin davar. It's forbidden to go to make efforts to prepare for one day yontiv to the next day yontiv. Afilu davar shein malacha even saying which does not involve a malacha. Mishabur says it's true. Even ben hashmashos are the first day, even twilight as the day is ebbing away. It's also Mishabur says it's things that don't include that are not malacha include things like washing the dishes and bringing wine from one day to the next. Is matir bringing wine b'shas chak, but it should be only if you bring it before long before the first day is over, so it shouldn't be clear that it's doing it for the purpose of the night time. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Because as soon as you're not allowed to cook or to bake miyontav from one day on to the next, because it's to make the 2 days out of doubt. The next day is a weekday. So preparing or doing malacha for miyontav for a weekday. So now we know for sure the second day is quote unquote weekday. It's certainly forbidden. Mishabur says you cook something in Yontav Rishon and your intent is for the 7th day. It should be permitted according to this because 7 days definitely Yontav. But this has to do with the machlokes in terms of ochel nefesh, which is not going to lose its flavor if you make it from Erev Yontav. So here too, since you can cook a chol hamoed for the 7th day, so it's not 100% comparable, but so then you would be forbidden to cook from the first day to the last day. Back to Rosh Hashanah, even the 2 days of the Rosh Hashanah, Kedusha Achas, and we call one Kedusha, Zelu Chomer, we said to the Machmir, the low but not to be Mekel. Below says, Abraham says that he, even according to the Rambam and those who like him, the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, Kedusha Achas, even the Kula, I guess that's not, still limited and doesn't apply to this. The Grohos, according to the Rambam, this will in fact be different. But even this opinion, it's only going to be mutter if it's suitable to have an offering on the first day. And then we're using the svara of Hoil, that's in the guest may come. As opposed to if it won't be completed until Shkia, then there's even suffix the Raisa, and even, not sure it's suffix the Raisa, I guess because it's not Rochel Nefesh that day. So according to the Rambam, who you do say it's Kushachas Kula, it would be awesome. Okay. Anyway, says Shulchan, there was one thing in which 2 days are lenient. That in terms of you can make an Erev for 2 days. That's lenient. Tough to sign. You can lie in the air for the first day, for the second day. That's it. The reasons obviously. Ikar. There, if the first day is the primary day, Shekhinah could be MS, as we know, according to our calendar is. As I Sheni the second day is a weekday, man, so Erev. Really doesn't need an Erev. Kan Adar, Sheni who Chol, also about Sham Yontav Chol. This makes it worse. There makes it better. Here makes it worse because it's going from Yontav to a weekday. Chem Yontav Shabbos, also in Kenin Yechir. Tav Shulin, you're not allowed to cook even for Yontav for the next day being Shabbos. Let's let the Erev Tav Shulin. Kam Chol, Mish also about Sham Yontav Sheni Erev. Shulchol Gom, it's now cooking Yontav Sheni for after nightfall, which is absolute weekday. Base. Turn over. Listen to the Bryce. Ain't no female on the Kaber can't bake from one yard to the next day. But indeed they said Mimali Ish's cook there, but also a woman can fill her entire pot with meat. Only those she only needs one piece. A baker can fill an entire barrel full of water. Even though he only needs one pitcher. Because with one effort, the entire thing is executed. But the bake only bake what you need for today. Shimon Lazar Mamali should call tanur pas. No, a woman can also fill her entire oven with bread. Because bread is baked better when the oven is full. Amarava said, "Look, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, you can fill the oven." Okay, Berush, this is what it needs to say. The Rabban lo yitim malacha yisei b'shvil shevach shetashbiach zeh hamaat hatzarich. They didn't allow malacha. Stam. That in order to improve whatever little bit you're doing, Rakmasha is the Piachas, but if it's made in one effort, then they were matir. Matir nafilim ein shvach b'miktsas mehamosar. They're matir even if there isn't enhancement. Okay, that's true. Water in the barrel. Shemiksasamayim shitzorich. The little bit of water you require, the ketone, is not mishtabchen de'amayim. It's not enhanced by the other water. Kosher mikdei basar shemishtabachos. If that's mutter, it's certainly mutter in a pot of meat, which does get better when there's more meat. You do the komashesh yosef basar bakteira. It's known that the more meat there is in the pot, all the time yosef kochativ chatir sheba. The taste of each and every piece is uplifted. Yishba says this is true also if she only wants to cook, if she only needs the cooked dish or the gravy. Nevertheless, you can do the other part as well, because everything gets both the meat and the gravy get better through the are improved by having more meat. So even if it's looking for the gravy, you could still add more meat to the pot. However, Rabban only allowed a cooked dish or water. It's made of one keli. But by baking, each piece of each bread is its own independent work of creation. They're not allowed that. No, even if it's they also permitted whatever's going to add enhancement. Therefore, baking is also permitted. And according to him, it goes out saying anything done in one fell swoop is permitted. And that's halacha. Everybody could seize this point. That which you put water in a pot, you don't do it always everything at the same time. It's probably not. We think it's not a problem because it's not malacha. But to draw from the well several times, that near also he thinks that's awesome. The Shabrua is like more Makri says even the pot you can only fill up one time from the Shapula. You should, I don't know if you have to, you should fill up one time from the bucket and not many times by smaller vessels. Gimel Choshkesh Mutter Lishchot Beima Afim Ein Tzorich El Mitzvah Mimara. You certainly have to shlech an animal, you need only need part of it. Shev Shach Gzais possible Shchita because you can't have a Gzais meat without checking the entire animal. She also cook many pots, only eat from a little from each one. Yesh aroma says spoil for if there's a ruse in this, we're going to see later on. The Darish no sheyesh fresh ben tam tircha achas letam shamixas mishtabech. There's difference if the logic for this law is it's one effort, or the reason is because the small amount is approved by adding an additional amount. The time where the leniency is only on account of it being one effort, like drawing a barrel of water. If they put the barrel on the fire, also you can't put more water in it. That's a new effort. But says if you do it so the pot doesn't break, doesn't crack, that's okay. But if you're going to say the reason of it enhances, so then by a pot of meat and the oven full of bread, you can even add later on meat to the pot and bread to the oven. In order to enhance those you want to eat. So it says this is only when you're cooking meat or fish in a pot. But other cooked dishes, she's not allowed to add for the night, even when the pot is right on the fire, because it doesn't get enhanced by the that doesn't enhance the dish. Also, when you roast meat on a skewer, you're not allowed to add for nighttime when the skewer is already on fire. But before you put it on, you could add on the skewer everything you wanted. Okay. Um, that was. And in terms of the enhancement, even if you put it in originally a small pot, you could put it in a large pot. So you pass in that meat. The impasse is part of the same tough zayin. The mishal enemy mishtabech mashal normally pass. So you come clear later on that our ovens, the small amount of bread is not enhanced because it's a large amount. And also, you know, the fosius mashal, so they're not allowed to bake more than you need. Ayin shal. The kusav the issue in a few amra befer she wrote also sarach machar mutar. Those say that even if she said explicitly she wants it for tomorrow, it's permitted. Yeshua seems to those who forbid it. It seems that it's permissible. Came the time. This is the reason for the leniency is measured to Sefes Gorim Tatam B'Tapshil. It's because the initial amount adds taste to the cooked dish. Can't feel a picture of face, not mutter. Same she said explicitly, it's still mutter. Kalashona, end quote from who's this? The Torah? The Mishnah Berurah brings down that many Achronim agreed that nevertheless she should, whether it's mutter or not, she should refrain from saying it's cooking for the purpose of nightfall. After nightfall, it's only the b'diavad doesn't become osir according to the Torah. Rokech hu osir. Rokech says it's osir. It's true that Chazal allowed it because of the enhancement. It's primary test for tomorrow, but they does it's only forbidden. So it's finished. Torah says we don't care about your kavanah. Came to the bedin because it's according to the letter of the law. So Rokech is not concerned if you think it's for tonight, only if you say it's for tonight. Bezel Rishon is what he says. You can't, don't say below Elu. So he's going to be a purpose you have to not these. But she fills up the pot well, and you can't tell it's a ruse. Like case where you salt each piece individually, and each time you decide to change your mind. The reason why it's mutter is because you can't tell it's a ruse. But if you're saying it outright, you're making the ruse quite apparent. Hey, Lefiz that circle mark, you have to say that Tur Cholik Shecholik love the Tur argues on him. So if you Minka Hara Mutter, the Tur argues on him, Svile holds that Pil Mikra Hara Mutter. Even you can tell the ruse is permitted. Biyam Shalom Arcane, can't say that. Shachar because of Tur B'Shem, the Dafel Koyim Achila, Clarabas the Beat official. The Tur says later name, it's that only before your meal can you add on cooking. But after eating, you can't cook. V'lomar to say, I'll eat a kazayis of this. There's no greater ruse than that. But Torah said, Torah agreed with this point. Atmosphere that Rama the Mikra, so you see a ruse which is recognizable is forbidden. You can't echit here, but she wrote machar. So how is it to Torah allow when she says she wants it for tomorrow explicitly? It's got Rama the Mikra. There's an explicit ruse. So I might have to say, "Sweet, I run Mikra Lomika Kshavro Yobi Arama Atzmo." To say that a ruse which is recognizable is only when the person who sees it can understand the ruse on his own. This is where after you eat, you said, "Oh, I need exercise." But before you ate, she says, and he says, nevertheless, came the close as a bishul ain't aroma marain. As long as the cooking there's no aroma, it looks like cooking for today. Correct. We don't care that for a moment she slipped up and said something wrong. And also the person who hears or saying that will assume that this happened later on that she wanted to leave for tomorrow after everything was cooked. So it's and this is explicit in a Tosis. Even though after you eat you can't make a ruse. Even if you want to eat a piece of this cow, if she violated and she did cook after the meal, and then she ate a kazayis from the food. So that when you shech the animal after the meal, before I said kazayis, man, I should say kazayis man machol. Kazayis to the food. And here eat kazais from the meat. Mutar l'chol erev. I feel b'yantiv shel Rosh Hashanah. He did that evening, even if it's Rosh Hashanah that night. But Allah says, perhaps when there are other cooked dishes, you should avoid these things. We actually got the Evid, and Arukh HaShulchan rejects it. He says, no, there's somebody else to be Evid, and that's not the actual halacha. She writes, several Achronim say that this ruse is lenient, uh, uh, is lenient when, but it only applies when you at least eat something for him before the first day on the ends. Not that your rabbi wanted to lean, even if you just had a mind to eat, and the end you didn't eat before you on the bend. Varietal says, shown evidence to Shem Sukenos, he took Chatkilos Oske, an animal which is in danger of dying, allowed to shech it deliberately, because I've seen Tzaddik Ches. He says that the Gam the Evid also Shalob Sukenos Obishar Tav Shilim. If you're going to say that even the evidence not mutar by an animal which is not in danger, but this is law of lahatir b'im sukenes, which is not allowed you to shecht a animal which is in danger of dying. Zayin v'day yishno yesh machlokes that place came as a machlokes b'had sheitir larin kol machil that which how you make a ruse before eating the bash arbe to cook a lot of russell air and it has from after nightfall api shato and sukkrak chadich achas even though you only need one piece now k'mosh bar as we explained minesh chadich zu tov yosef shagdera melea kosh kusam because this one piece is also better when the pot is full as we wrote in my kamana dafka kshetzor bemes chadich when you specifically do need this piece. To eat today. You don't need to offer today. We have other foods today. Why need a little bit in order to allow the prohibition? Is that, I'm sorry. You just want to eat a little bit in order to be matzah there. So that's awesome. Then it doesn't work. Ultimately, say, I feel like God would say, even if that's the case, it's permitted. Sheish osim that those who forbid. Bachnas those who permit. Magavom yam shishlem and tas. If you have baked there, you can even cook lots of pots, and she tastes a kazayis from each one. Mishnah Berurah says talk about each pot is a different type of food, but two pots with the same type of food, he would not allow that. This seems to be a case of Tosh and Torah and the other poskim. They forbade the rules after the person eats. Because after you don't really need this piece to be eaten. So must be the that even before you eat, when it's still you still need the piece. Well, actually, no. You mean only it's before the if you don't need the piece, it's mutter. These people cook for the night; they taste a little bit of it. The Shabura says, "I'm in this tavla bracha." That's meaningless, says Arukh HaShulchan. Tasting is nothing. You have to eat a little bit as eating. Otherwise, clearly, it's relying on to indicate that you don't need to want to eat the piece of meat. Yes, and some say the rock we have to be recently to shame with the chaygamno. It's only permitted to do this from one day on the next day on them, but not from the second day on to the weekday. That's a distinction. And he says the bracket is already been a Yerucham the mutter. So difference if you're relying on the answer of that you need to shech the whole animal or to for that one piece, or all the bread enhances that one piece of bread. So it should make a difference whether it's for a weekday or for Yontif. Nevertheless, Mishnah Berurah says you should be careful about that. Only do it from Yontif to Yontif Sheni, but not from use this rules, but not from Yom Tov to weekday. Tough Kudal, the entavling milk Yom Tov, the laws of spices and salt on Yom Tov. Av abi shochel nefesh, efshal supposed to be erev Yom Tov, also supposed to be Yom Tov midaraisa midrabanan. Via deo shos baratzim tav tzaki. Even though preparations for ochel nefesh, the ochel nefesh you could have done before Yom Tov. It's also to do the on Yom Tov. In Midrash Rabbanan, opinions have been clarified between top tzaddik hey. Kosher makshir ochel nefesh certainly preparations for ochel nefesh. Come remember Chazal, unless Chazal say the top yochel do kedarkim yontiv. Spices and herbs are allowed to pulverize on yontiv. Api shadi dicha tolas chini. Even though pulverizing is a derivative of grinding. Vav sheyochel duchim erev yontiv. And even though you could have ground them before yontiv. Reasons. But remember, Satan came with Shemus Kalkin B'Taman, since the taste good rules. Also, Maaslo make it from yesterday. Have a key of Shalos me erev yontiv, as if you can't make them before yontiv. Time Laducha Sam Avim Nechshavim Kimakshirin, and you can even pulverize them if you consider them like makshirin, not like ochel nefesh itself. But if you had the master sheet if you knew already you're going to need that spice, nevertheless you're still allowed to pulverize it on yontiv.